Hi there, I'm Didam from Exploreonus. Welcome back to episode 9 of Book Club. In today's video, let's start off with a simple question. What comes to your mind when of a book or book series that has a character called Thomas in it? Of course, it's the MazeRunner series. This is the first book, The Maze Runner by James Dashner. This is a dystopian novel and is one of the series that James Dashner has released or written before. I recommend this book to all of you because this book is really and extremely interesting. I've reread it around 3 to 4 times and I still can't get bored, despite the countless times that I've glanced through each page. Unfortunately, for today's video, I only have the first book and the third book of the Maze Runner series because the second book and the fourth book of the series, which is the Scorch Trials and the Kill Order, I borrowed it from from the library and I had to return it. So once I get the book back, I will definitely do a review of the book. Let's get straight into the video without further ado. Starting off today, firstly, I'll be talking about the author and some facts about James Dashner, the author, and other series that he has written besides The Maze Runner. Followed by me giving you a short synopsis on this book called The Maze Runner, the first book. And last but not least, me telling you the main message and what type of things can we learn from characters like Thomas, Minho, and some other characters that I'll be talking about in today's video. In addition to me telling you where you can find the movies and books in which I'll be putting all the links in the description below. Firstly, I'll be talking about the author, and the author for today's book is James Dashner. James Dashner is an American novelist who writes books and book series tending to the audience of young adults the most. His most famous series are the Maze Runner series, Mortality Doctrine, the 13th Reality series, and so on. His remarkable awards are: in 2008, he got the Whitney Award for the Best Youth Fiction, the 13th Reality series. And in 2011, he got the ALA Award for the Best Young Adult Fiction, which is the Maze Runner series. Last but not least of his achievements, he got the Young Reader's Choice Award for intermediate grades, which is this series as well, the Maze Runner. I will further leave links in the description below for sites where you can check out more facts about James Dashner. Now I'll be giving you a short synopsis of the book. Alright, so now we'll be getting to the climax of today's video. What this book, the first ever book of the Maze Runner, is about. Alright, let's go. So firstly, it starts off with the main character, Thomas, who was inside this elevator going up. So when he arrived in this place called a maze. But there were many parts to the maze, and there were a lot of teenage boys the same age as him stuck, but he knew none of them. And when he actually got out of the elevator, so-called elevator, he arrived at this place called the Glade. So the Glade is where all the boys inhabited and stayed throughout 3 years of their lives when they were stuck. So who, you might ask, put them in this maze? It's a place called Wicked. It's a company who wants to find a cure for this virus called the Flare virus, which affected the outside world, which no one knows about in the Glade. Which the teenage boys, they call themselves the Gladers. So as time goes by, Thomas tends to ask a lot of questions about how they could get out, and ask a lot of questions from Albie, the leader, and Newt about a lot of ways, but all he got was disapproval grunts. But in the end, one day, when Minho, a runner, you might ask who a runner is. A runner is a person who runs, and is also a person who tracks the maze and finds out exits in which they can exit the maze and get out to the outside world. So one day when Minho was trying to get inside the Glade again, the doors were closing. So Thomas could not resist the urge to get inside the maze. So he went inside the maze. And he spent one night surprisingly in the maze with Minho, with a lot of creatures called the Grievers, which attack the gliders. So finally, in the end, they found a exit, and they finally had a happy ending. But they had to sacrifice a lot of people just to get out of the maze. So that is what the Maze Runner is about. You might ask what the series looks like. This is what the series looks like. Starting out with the first book, the second book, the third book, and the fourth book. This is the olden series, which has the olden cover page, but this is the newer one. So, but they still have the same story and the same exact copy. And in the future, I'll be doing the review of the second, the third, and the fourth book sooner or later. Last but not least, I'll be talking about what the main message of the book is and some characteristics and personalities from Thomas and Minho, which I'll be talking about now. Firstly, I'll be talking about the main message the book is trying to tell you. The main message is to stick together with your friends no matter what. And wherever you want to get to your destination, you gotta sacrifice some things. Because a lot of people in this book called the Maze Runner, most of the gladiators sacrifice themselves for Thomas and his few friends to just get out of the maze. So that is what is the key message that the book is showing you. And talking about the characteristics of Thomas and Minho, I'll be starting off with Thomas first. Thomas is inquisitive, and he never gives up his gut when he's being disapproved of some idea that he has, especially when he was like, I need to find a way out of the maze, but no one actually trusted him. But in the end, he was the reason that most of his friends got out of the maze. And that is a really key characteristic to attain or have. And talking about Minho, he's a really good analytical person who can analyze the situations when he's faced with the minimal conditions. So if you have a small thing, but you need to do a task, this is the kind of trait you will want to have. Because when you're given some small things, you got to analyze the task in a bigger picture and break it down. And that's what Minho is really good at. And that is one of the key things that we should have. Thank you so much for watching. If you enjoyed the video, please smash that like button. And I hope you can subscribe as well here. I also hope you could follow me on both Instagram and Facebook at Exploreonus. And I really appreciate if you could follow me on Patreon and become a patron of my Patreon account, which I'll leave in the description below. Please stay tuned for my next few videos. With that, bye!